How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and this is a channel that actively supports Black Lives Matter and all cops are bastards, so if that makes you uncomfortable, you can get the fuck out. I'm gonna start saying that at the beginning of all my fucking reactions from this point on. So, we are watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 8. By the way, why was the last episode called Chaos Theory? I don't know. Somebody in the comments, actually, please let me know, because I'm not sure. This one is Many Heads, One Tail, which... it is the tale, is like you're telling a tale, the tale of Hydra. But I'm not sure if the Hydra in mythology has some sort of thing about cutting off the tail and it, and something happens. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm not familiar with that. But obviously this is about Hydra, one head, or many heads, one tail. Yeah, so we're going to be getting a lot of focus on that, a lot of focus on this, the old guy. So... Let's jump into it. If you want to get the full length for this one, by the way, check it out on the Patreon below for $4 a month. This episode was really the, hey, have you been missing some of that spy shit? We've gotten a lot of the, individuals doing their own thing, but every time that happens, whether in a group of like 2 or 3 or whatever, they end up, one of them messes up in some big way, and it all goes south. So we desperately needed an episode like this, where it went like 99% right. It went almost exactly according to plan. Which is still more than we can say about most of our plans. But yeah, so just getting everybody to, have a role this episode. Everybody got to do their own thing. Again, it was just super duper quintessential spy shit. It felt like a heist movie, basically. I will say, gotta keep saying until we see them. Where the hell is Koenig? Where the hell is Weaver? I thought we saw Weaver once this season already, but to be fair, it was the back of her head, and it seems like it could just be, maybe there's also another, black girl in S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe they have, 2 or 3 black people in all of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe it was just her. But I don't know, so maybe we haven't even seen Weaver this season. But, still, where the hell are they? We got, everybody in S.H.I.E.L.D. together. We couldn't even get them for this episode, really. Especially the Koenigs would have been perfect for an episode like this, but, yeah, I know the problem with getting Patton Oswalt. He's a big actor, but still, come on. So yeah, I throughout the season I've been saying I hope Coulson has I hope Coulson has something up his sleeve in reference to Rosalind and everything he's doing. And once he started sleeping with her, that's where I sort of lost my hope. Where I was like, okay, I don't think he has a plan at all. I think he's just actually being infatuated with her and being sort of manipulated by her. I didn't really think he was being manipulated by her, but in the sense that, he wasn't, that he trusted her, I guess. Whereas trust is just manipulation, I suppose. But, yeah, with Coulson, chastising Mac for, asking Coulson to sleep with Rosalind, even though Coulson has chastised May and Hunter for doing the same thing themselves, and that was inside the system. That wasn't even, inside the organization. That wasn't even the rival, the head of the rival organization. And not even a rival organization, but just it's essentially like he's just sleeping with the head of Hydra, knowing that they are, not... It's weird now because they are Hydra, but you get what I'm saying. It is, Rosalind is a level beyond, sleeping with the enemy. That is like May sleeping with Ward, after knowing everything that Ward has done. It's so weird. Yeah, I don't know. Coulson just continues to nosedive into just the worst person territory. But, again, I am glad that he had something up his sleeve this episode. I'm glad that he had a plan this whole time. Even if, he didn't quite have the right information and the right idea of what, everything was going down, he at least tried. So, yeah, and the talk that Rosalind gave Coulson was absolutely very much needed. Just loved it. Also, it was just really great acting back and forth between the two of them, talking over each other and everything, interrupting each other. But, yeah, I love the talk and everything, but at the same time, I'm very surprised the fact she didn't know anything. I kept guessing that might be the case, but then I knew that if that's the case, if she actually doesn't know, the real shit's going on, like when I thought that Lash was Banks or anything like that, like, it just makes her doubly as, insane. Like, the fact that all this was happening, and, or just the fact that she, the cancer thing was wasn't bullshit. That was a truth from her. And she actually legitimately believes that. Like, God, what a fucking monster. We're gonna put her in the fucking stasis now. I wouldn't even wish that on her. But okay, so then we also had May and Lincoln this episode as a really, really great duo, and I hope they stay as like partners, like Mac and Daisy seem to be. That would be extremely dope because they seem to be really good at keeping each other in check. They are both very amazing, good people, about 90% of the time, which is really all you can ask for in a person, really. I think they would work very, very well together. I was not worried that May was going to actually do anything to him this episode. Them apologizing to each other and everything, it is nice. I like it. It's a sweet moment. But my main takeaway from all that was just, oh boy, I really hope we get to see these two like in action together, more so than just this episode. I hope they continue to be a regular thing because they are great together. Again, they're like two of my favorite characters right now, so I am super happy if they're both together. Not in that way, but So I absolutely loved seeing Daisy do some doing mainly hacking this episode as opposed to being out on the field and everything. Great calling back to why she was brought here in the first place. Like, she does a lot of field work now, and she does some hacking, but it's some quick hacking that we could just sort of casually just be like, oh yeah, she did this, yeah, she did that. But like getting to like see it in action and especially having it be very down to earth for dum-dums who don't understand hacking or anything like that, then it's nice. Mac on the phone as well was hilarious. They make a great team as always. Mac in the disguises is always like, Mac is one of the people that I think is the most solid at being a spy. Like, there is really the levels throughout the characters in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of who is good at being a spy and who is not really good at being a spy, or just like who is bad. Like, I'll get to it in a second, but like, just want to say Mac is, I think, at the top, one of the top of fantastic acting. I mean, he can't. It's hard to hide his appearance. That's the bad part, but he's just a giant dude, so it's gonna be hard to hide that. But yeah, he's good at acting. On the other hand, Hunter and Bobby, very, very good as well. Bobby, extremely good at acting, extremely good at being able to change up her appearance and sort of obfuscate it in different ways. And just being a woman, she's going to be less noticed. That's just how it goes. Less suspected of being, a bad guy, or against them. But Hunter, on the other hand, oh howdy, Hunter is the worst at disguises. Him and May are both absolutely terrible at disguising themselves and pretending to be a different person. Mainly not because of the appearance, but simply because they have such an extremely hard time hiding their true self in the disguise. Like, they'll wear disguise, they'll be doing a character, but then it's still like 80% them, 20% this character. And yet, because their confidence is so incredibly high, they pull it off anyway. Like, Hunter here, terrible job at pretending to be this character that he's come up with. Like, again, it's about 20% and then about 80% just Hunter. But, considering he's so confident and doesn't question himself, the other guy just has to, it's very, fake it till you make it, act like you belong sort of situation. And Hunter's very, very good at that. Same with May, both very, very good at that. The guest actor that was playing the IT guy with glasses, by the way, really strong straight man. Like, his comedic timing with Hunter was very surprising, honestly. Like, for a guest star, especially a 2-bit random guest star like that, I was not really expecting anything, but damn, the comedic timing was on point. Gotta give that guy props. But that also, Mac and Coulson are still, I think, the funniest duo in this fucking series. Like, time and time again, it's always those two that get me. I mean, Hunter is just very funny by himself as well, but I think as they like playing off of each other, Mac and Coulson are fantastic in that sense. And I am glad that we got to have Mac really, you know, digging into him again at this episode. As I've been saying, we need to have more characters actually holding him responsible, and it was not quite the case here at all, but I always appreciate it when we get it at least. So, all that aside, now we can talk about the big shit. Oh my god. So, first of all, I called it with the fucking rectangles being cut out of the stone. Wasn't thinking that like Hydra would have them or anything, but Hydra seems to have a 1. Whereas if we want to go through there, I assume we're going to need multiple. So now it's going to be, next episode is probably going to be a hunt down for the rest of them. And then episode 10 will be our sort of, you know, mid-season finale sort of thing that we do. Then of course we're switching over to Agent Carter season 2. So, yeah, that's what I assume. Collect the rocks, put them together, go through it. This Hydra revelation was probably, it felt more impactful to me than the Winter Soldier thing, honestly. Because that was like a, you know, it's like, you know, Hydra's in S.H.I.E.L.D. the whole time. What? Well, you know, it's a crazy, like, holy shit, the Hydra's still around. But then it's also like a, yeah, it's not that surprising this would happen, though. Like, it happens in real life. It continues to happen now. It's not a very strange situation. You know, it's pretty normal. Surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly. But, you know, now with this, though, this is like, you know, this is surprising. This is a twist. Holy shit. So, Hydra is so much older than we thought. We have an Inhuman born on Earth here hundreds of years ago. Now, we don't know if they went through the Terrigenesis or, you know, or they went through the, like, the temple thing, or if they just, like, touched a crystal somehow, or someone turned them into an Inhuman. Not sure how that, we've got a lot of interesting things to go on there. They were destined to rule it, destined to rule this place, the Earth, as they said. You know, that's just Hydra, you know, speaking, of course. It could be something, you know, like we've seen with the Inhumans, they have some spiritual shit. They got some, like, you know, Fry had some divining shit. So, destined to rule it could be a literal thing somehow. I don't know how you would work that into, you know, a mechanic, but it's possible. I'm not gonna outrule it, but I do think it's just Hydra, you know, obviously saying that because they want him to rule. Then others banished it from the Earth. Other Inhumans, other humans. Separate faction, you know, maybe that one that was turning people in humans and then was like, oopsie, that one's a bad one. Like, is it the others being, doesn't seem to be the Kree, because I think he would just straight up say Kree banished it from the Earth. I think by others, I'm guessing other Inhumans, but, could be wrong. Because then it could be Hydra was founded as a solely Inhuman group and then slowly grew out more and more from there. And now they're going back to being a solely Inhuman group. Which might mean we get Inhuman Ward and what was his name? I have it written down somewhere, but it's in my notes somewhere. I'll get to it later. Gideon Malik. Because that's a bit of a, you know, are we really going to imply that they've been Inhumans this entire time? Them too. You know, I don't know how I would feel about that. But, you know, I was going to say it's going to feel hypocritical if they have everyone in their entire organization be Inhuman or dead except for them. But you know what? This is fucking Hydra. They don't give a shit. They're not going to care. But, yeah, so Hydra was founded solely to bring this guy back. The Red Skull instead said, fuck it, I'm just going to rule this bitch myself. This also explains why they were going after the Tesseract and stuff, trying to probably research it as a means of space travel on top of everything that were, you know, the Red Skull wanted to do with it. Like, the Red Skull wanted it for, you know, the world domination and the bomber and all that sort of stuff. But I assume Hydra originally probably was looking into the Tesseract and trying to find it because of space travel and not being able to get him back through the portal's normal means. Because this would have been way after they kind of, you know, figured that out. Like, yeah, it's been a couple hundred years, we ain't getting this guy back this way, let's try and find another way. Space travel, maybe? And I know we ain't going here. I know for sure we ain't going here, but I do like the idea that we're building up Hydra Planet, or you know, Planet Hydra, with this Inhuman there, and then Hydra going there to get him back, and we definitely have Red Skull in space somewhere. I don't know exactly what the Tesseract did with him, but it's gotta be doing, it did some timey-wimey bullshit with him, and I mean, we're certainly seeing Red Skull again. I'm like 99% sure we're gonna see Red Skull. Yeah, you can't say 100 if I don't know. So 99%. So what should we call this monster, this Inhuman? Should I call it the Hydra? I've been calling it the Sandstorm Monster, but you know, in reference to the Smoke Monster. But I think the Hydra works well because it fits with being maybe a I mean, we'll see more. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions yet, but I think that might be the name they're gonna go with it. Because it, you know, I don't know why it's killing everybody that's coming through, but maybe it could just be like, maybe they come through, then they're like, oh shit, we can't get you out, and then he's like, well, I'm just gonna kill you then. Like, if you can't get me out, you're dead. Because then it's just an extra body for him to use, you know, if that is the correct thing here, that it's manipulating dead bodies, sort of, possessing them in a way, maybe physically manipulating them like marionettes with the sand, but yeah, so, you know, you kill a body, you kill one of the dead bodies, and it's just like cutting off one head. It's not going to do anything. It is the Hydra. Could be, I think we're going somewhere there. But, could be wrong. Because, again, it wasn't like Hydra was originally called Hydra, right? I wouldn't assume so because of the, you know, the symbols changing over time, and then it, like, well, when it goes to NASA and everything, like, that's Hydra in NASA, but for the most point, I would assume, like, let's say, like the English Castle guys, that was probably all Hydra, right? I don't think there's anybody in there who wasn't Hydra, I would assume, but I don't know exactly. So, either way, I don't know, yeah. But, okay, so I've been talking about how do they not know how to get him back? We know the castle thing. They have this whole system for how to turn on the portal. How have they not been able to get him back? And I keep forgetting, they're like, oh yeah, you're right. They don't know, like, where the portal's gonna be on the planet. So, like, even if they're opening up on our side, it does not mean that, you know, the Sandstorm Monster knows where the portal's gonna be, or whoever's going to get him knows where the portal's gonna be. And that is even if they can go there and get him without him killing them. Also, Ward's response to all of this made it just like 1,000 times better. The just real soft, okay. Oh, so good. But yeah, so of course they infiltrated NASA, which, you know, now ties into the whole Will situation, which, man, I really should have seen that coming. Like, we basically already knew that through Zola. This is not a lot of, like, new information with the, you know, like, the Hydra being extremely fucking old and all that shit's extremely new information, but, you know, the NASA part of it, not really new information. We pretty much should have known that. Like, I should have, you know, just assumed, you know, there would be some Hydra in AT. I took the, you know, Hydra is gone, like, because the heads of Hydra have been cut off. Last season, they were really talking about it. Like, all of Hydra that was left was what we saw with Ward. It was, like, literally all of Hydra was just Ward and, like, 4 dudes. But seemingly not the case. I don't remember who said that, but they were very wrong. Hydra is still extremely huge. They are all over the place, I assume, still. I mean, the NASA stuff was old, but it's not. I guess it would be. Yeah, I guess it would be pretty extremely old, honestly. And so I guess they just. I wonder if there was any of them found out at NASA, or if they just left before the Winter Soldier shit, or what. I don't know. But either way, yeah. So okay, yeah. I really, yeah, I was talking about last episode with Jiang's being, you know, the book, the ledger thing coming back into play and all that. I really enjoy how important Strucker is, Von Strucker is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and so unimportant elsewhere. Like, I actually really love that he's built up for so, like, you know, they mention him in the movie Ultron, what was in Winter Soldier, we see Strucker for the first time. Then we get a ton of him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just like mentioning him, and we can't even get to him, but we can get to these other guys because he's so big and blah 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 blah. Then we where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Just big brain fart there. In Ultron, we get so little of him. Like, he's in the very beginning of the movie, you know, just does not, you know, tries to make like a big point, but just gets like, you know, bitch smacked. He just gets, you know, taken out so easily and then just gets killed in a jail cell. And now we have Werner, who is equally, you know, he was introduced like, oh, he struck her son. Okay, cool, kind of interested, you know, building him up. And then, nope, taken out, very, like, he gets scared of Lash and runs away, and then they torture him and kill him. Well, he's not dead yet, but yeah, I doubt he's going to be in this series for very much longer. And they are also, they are wanting to go kill him, right? I might have to go recheck that line that Gideon was talking about. But I'm pretty sure Gideon and Ward both want him dead right now. But yeah, so I do like that both characters were built up so much, but they just turned out to just be little bitches. You know, they amassed such wealth and power, but in the end, they were personally no more special than any other Hydra dirtbag. And I love the symbolism of that. You know, we build them up and we build them up, but in the end, their power and wealth meant nothing. Just another Hydra dirtbag. Ward as well got a nice fight scene, but you know, do I think it was nice? It was whatever, honestly. No, I can't say that it was nice. That is rude to all the other great fights we've gotten in this series. Ward desperately Ward desperately needs a Ward desperately needs a good fight scene. Like, one that does not have a lot of cuts, one that is not constantly just, you know, moving around big, shaky cam and all that. Like, I don't know if it's, you know, Ward's actor not being great at fight choreography, or if it's just them not directing his fight scenes very well. You know, I don't know which it is. I'm not throwing blame either way. But, you know, the boat scene was probably, like, the best we've gotten with Ward, and that's pretty sad. Like, you know, one where it's, like, Ward versus other, you know, pieces of shit. One where it's acceptable to be rooting for Ward. In a way. You know, even then you're kind of like, oh, it'd be nice to see Ward. You know in a meta sense, Ward is not going to die here, so you allow yourself to root for him a bit. You know, in those specific scenes. So something like Ward versus May in Season 1, I can't really count, because it's, you know, it is a Ward is the bad guy fight scene. Well, I mean, they're all Ward is the bad guy fight scenes, but you get what I'm saying. That said, even if we didn't get a good fight with him, that plane scene, whew, insanely dark. Once again, the music was absolutely bone-chilling. Ward has such fantastic, like, theme music. Oh, I love it. And, yeah, I've been talking about this season. Hydra not really being that dangerous for civilians. If you're a civilian, you probably just have forgotten entirely about Hydra at this point. You know, they probably completely left your radar. Whereas now, this is certainly going to bring Hydra back in the public eye again. And, you know, for me, it's also as, well, not me, but just as viewers in general, I guess me, yes. You know, being able to bring this back to, like, really right before we get, you know, Hydra coming back into play in a major way in the plot, really hitting home with a extremely fucked up, extremely chaos-inducing scene like this. And now they also have Andrew on their side. They got a big old monster man, which is gonna be exciting to see because I love Lash's powers, like how they look. So at the very least, I'm just excited for that. just to see more of that. And see more of just his matter, erasing shit in general, or whatever the hell that is. So, how many people does the Hydra TCU, the Hydra TCU, have as functionable Inhumans? Because they, supposedly, it should be all of them. Supposedly it's all of their employees and even bystanders. Which I assume, the bystander, if they turn, they're just throwing them in stasis, That's all they're doing. They're just like, either kill them or throw them in stasis. Like, either it kills them or we'll throw them in stasis. But, yeah. This guy had, like, other people with him, but they didn't really do anything but shoot. They could have had powers that were not, applicable to fighting, but, yeah, this is all gonna seem incredibly not worth it. Like, how many people do they have to churn through to get the very small amount of people with a power that is worth it? Considering the insane amount of people they have in the TCU and the fact that we've seen one Inhuman so far, I'm gonna guess not a great turnout. Not a great turnout on powers being useful. So, but that said, it does seem like, 99 out of 100 Inhumans are just, they're fine. They're chill. Like, they can go through Terrigenesis, okay. People like Gideon, people like Sky, and people like Fry and Lash are the abnormal ones. Like, even something like Joey. Joey, his powers went out of control, but, also that is abnormal. Like, I mean, assumingly. You think we would have heard about it if they had all, because they don't really have a good staff for trying to, help them through this. So, like, you would have to assume that their powers would also be going insanely out of control for a long period of time. How would they have them under control by now if it's, if it's not a thing of, we're just, seeing a lot of extreme examples of Inhumanism when it's not that, extreme for the most part, Basically 90 out of 100 are totally fine. Have no real issue going through their Terrigenesis, going through their Terrigenesis puberty afterwards and all that. And again, this is all assuming. This is all just hypothesizing. Yeah, and nothing really concrete. But it was cool to get this guy. I wish I wrote down his name, but he's pretty much Dunsky, so not expecting to see him again. But yeah, getting a mirror fight with Bobby is a really cool idea, especially when, the power-up that she gets is mirrored before we even see her own power-up. Like, her power-up we see through the villain first, essentially. Really cool way to do that. I'm loving this power-up for Bobby, and I'm excited to see it going forward, because her batons have been like, meh. They've been whatever. I don't really care. It was how I felt about Daredevil's batons in most of season 2. Like, the just two stick thingies, whatever. I'm not that into it. But the, like, long, stick thing that he got, and now this thing, I like the more upgradable, ranged shit a lot more. But yeah, seeing, this fight was honestly so cool. I really like the fights that are more, I don't know where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this? I like the more puzzly kind of fights. This wasn't exactly puzzly, but I did like the, thing of her, him grabbing her own batons out of the air so they couldn't come back to her. And, I think it could have gone on a little bit longer without him, immediately being taken out like that. With, seeing how Bobby could have handled that situation. Because I do think Bobby, I don't think that would, Bobby would have been, like, dead there or anything. I think Bobby might have still had that situation. But, glad they came in the clutch anyway, but still. Really dope fight. Loved it. So, yeah. I guess that's all I have to say about the Hydra TCU right now. Just that they say they have all these Inhumans, but I'm waiting to see them, because we've only seen one so far. And if it's true what they say, we got a huge war ahead of us. So, lastly, I said it in the reaction, but I'm just not interested in Fitzsimmons at this point. I get where we are going with the cursed relationship and all that, but it's just a trope that I am not into at all. I can't get into it. It's the same thing with Coulson and the girl that he was, used to be with back in pre-season 1, but we saw her in season 1. Again, probably my least favorite episode of season 1, probably my least favorite episode of the season, or of the series. I really am not a fan of Coulson's relationship with that girl, which seems to be where, he's moving on, and we're moving past that, which I'm very glad about. But, yeah, was really, really not a fan of it. Really not a fan of what we're doing with Fitzsimmons now either. I do not like relationships where the characters either cannot make up their mind to start dating, or the universe keeps them apart. And we've gotten both of that with Fitzsimmons. But two of my most hated tropes. Like, the universe keeps them apart, I think, is doable. I think it's, it's not like I hate it just blanketly, but I just hate it because I've very, very rarely seen it done good. I think I can only think of one series where it's been done good, and that has been Gantz with Kay and Ty, because it works so well, because we get to see them together as a couple first, then we get the, universe constantly trying to keep them apart and everything, and then on top of that, even in between, like, we get, arcs where the universe is keeping them apart and there's big struggles and all that and trying to get each other back and blah, blah, blah. And in between that, we get to have them still be enjoying life together as a couple and, as a healthy, enjoyable couple that is fun to watch and extremely heartwarming. And I would love it if we got that with Fitzsimmons. If Fitzsimmons was they were in a relationship since, like, somewhere in season 2. I think somewhere in season 2 would have been the perfect spot for it. But at this point, I just am not interested anymore. Especially as they said, they at this point, and they still couldn't even, get, say their feelings to each other. And again, I get it's because we're trying to do the whole curse thing, but even if I get what they're doing with it, I understand the point of it, I understand it, I just dislike it. And I think that's why, Bobby and Hunter work so well. And I like Bobby and Hunter a lot. Bobby and Hunter I love so much more than I love Fitz and Simmons. Because they actually get to spend time with each other and feel like a couple. And, May and May and Andrew, very, similar situation. We get to see them as a couple. And as a happy, enjoyable time, Andrew and May, we could have gotten a hell of a lot more for. That's why Bobby and Hunter is, I think, a great example. Bobby and Hunter, we've gotten a lot of them being, a happy couple. Well, as happy as they can get together, I give you that much. But, and I hope we get to see that with Lincoln and Daisy as well. I'm excited to see it with Lincoln and Daisy, and I hope we get it. Of course, Lincoln being, wanted by the world, it's not really going to be easy to go out and just have a coffee dinner, coffee date or anything. But, they could have a date inside S.H.I.E.L.D. It's going to be kind of weird, but, they could, inside the base, they could do that. I'm sure they could find some way to have a date, maybe through some sort of cloaking device or something, putting on the face. I mean, would you want to have a date if you both had to wear a face mask? Yeah, but hopefully the whole Inhuman situation can become a little bit, I don't know where I was going with that, just that hopefully the world at whole can either, quickly start to become a whole lot more accepting, or we can fucking make them and go out there and do it anyway. I don't know, but I'm excited to see them together as a couple. I hope they don't end up in a Fitzsimmons situation. Anything else I gotta say? Not really. I'm loving Ward's outfit for this season. Like, the jacket and the like, just his color scheme of, like, the light browns and everything, is, I don't know where it's going. I like it. Yeah, I guess I don't have anything else to say. Rosalind is still I'm worried about where we're going to go with Rosalind here, because, I find her still to be the worst villain we've had in the show thus far. Just mentality-wise. Again, the other villains may have done worse, but mentality-wise, she is, like, the most evil. And yeah, I'm worried that we're gonna keep her around as a good character, but hope that's not the case. I'll see you guys for the next one. Okay. No, I already gave my prediction for next episode. We're doing the rocks thing. That's my prediction for next episode. We're getting the square chunks together. It's gonna be a race between Ward and Gideon and us. And S.H.I.E.L.D, I should say, for us. I gotta stop saying us. I gotta start saying proper pronouns. What they actually are. S.H.I.E.L.D versus Hydra. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's primary. Like, obviously gonna be B plots and C plots, but it's gonna be hard for me to exactly guess what that's gonna be. Yeah, that's it. I'm hoping we get something with Daisy and Lincoln next episode exactly, but if we're doing some crazy hunting down some stones, I don't think we're gonna have the chance. Anyway, I'll see you then. Get the fuck out of here.